Israel's first female Prime Minister, Golda Meir, writes in her memoirs, in her autobiography entitled My Life, what was the most moving moment that she cried, like a baby she cried, during the Declaration of Independence 77 years ago in 1948. She says, when I heard the words uttered by Ben-Gurion in the Declaration of Independence where he said that the gates of Eretz Israel will be open to all immigrants, all Jews from around the world, at that moment she broke down. She writes because she said anyone who knows Jewish history knows how transformative that was, that opened the gates of the ingathering of the exiles. Because for 2,000 years, Jews could not come to the land of Israel without there being restrictions. Indeed, until the 14th of May 1948, there were restrictions. The white paper was still de jure in place. Jews couldn't come here. You know, we're in these yamim called the Yamim Leumim, the national days. Only last week we had Yom HaShoah. We just had Yom HaZikaron, now Yom HaAtzmaut. And you know, perhaps one of the great transitions from Yom HaShoah 3 years later to Yom HaAtzmaut is that even after the horrific Shoah, there were 250,000 people languishing in DP camps, deportation camps in Europe. There were ships which were sent during the Shoah to harbors around the world and turned back because of immigration quotas. The Jews had nowhere to go until 1945, and even afterwards, there were quotas all around the world. And what shifted in one fell swoop with the declaration of the State of Israel, this Kiddush Hashem, of so many different Kiddush Hashems, is that the gates are now open for Jews all around the world. And boy, oh boy, did the Jews need it. 250,000 Jews started coming from deportation camps. And in the next 3 years, Israel would more than double its size. What Professor Nita Shapiro says, the greatest transfer in human history, certainly in Jewish history, but arguably in human history, that in a few years, a population has doubled its size of Jews coming from all around the world. Arguably, more than any other prophecy, our great prophets have prophesied the ingathering of the exile, kibbutz galuyot, tekah b'shofar gadol lecheirutenu, v'san nesek b'etz galuyotenu, we say every day 3 times a day. And throughout the Nevi'im, the great miracle of the future that they envision is that we will come, unefutzotenu kanes miyarka te'aretz v'anidachim, and all those from around the world will come back. And that is the privilege, the biblical prophecies in motion that we are living through in the modern state of Israel. That is the great miracle that we are living, that began en masse 77 years ago on Yom HaAtzmaut, where the gates were opened. And more than 7 million Jews live in Israel, more than in the history of the Jewish people. And yes, we have our challenges. And yes, there's a lot in front of us, and there's still so much more to do to bring our hostages back, 59 hostages as of this recording, soldiers in the front lines, so many internal fissures, so much still to do to bring our hostages back and to destroy the evil on our doorstep, and so much going forward. But we know one thing: we're living in biblical times, times of the ingathering of the exiles, times of appreciation of the enormity of the times we live in, the times where the gates of the land of Israel are open, and we together can participate together in building Jewish history and Jewish destiny together. Yom HaAtzmaut Sameach.